Maybe the person you've been waiting for isn't older, wiser, or someone you expected. Maybe they're younger, and their heart has already found its way toward you. Sometimes life doesn't bring us love in the form we imagined. It brings us a soul we never expected at a time when we had almost stopped believing. There may be someone younger quietly carrying feelings for you, hiding words they're afraid to say because they don't know how deeply you might feel them too. And maybe that's why their name keeps appearing around you, in conversations, memories, places, or little moments you thought meant nothing. You may have looked everywhere for a sign, never realizing that the answer could be standing much closer to you than your heart ever imagined. Sometimes the person destined to change your life doesn't arrive with a warning. They simply walk into your world and slowly become impossible to forget. Maybe you've been asking yourself why someone younger feels strangely familiar, why their presence touches a part of your heart that others never could. There are connections that don't make sense to the mind, but somehow make perfect sense to the heart, and this may be one of them. So before you dismiss that feeling as coincidence, listen carefully, because the person you never expected to love may be closer to your future than you realize. And when you finally discover who they are, you may look back at all those little signs and realize your heart had been noticing them long before you were ready to understand. Maybe you have been through enough disappointment to stop believing in unexpected love. Maybe you learned to protect your heart because every time you opened it, someone gave you another reason to close it again. And perhaps, somewhere deep inside, you quietly told yourself, "I'm done waiting." But what if the love coming toward you doesn't look like the love you imagined? What if the person who is meant to stand beside you is younger than you expected? What if their age is not the most important thing about them? Because sometimes a person can be younger in years, yet carry a heart that understands your pain more deeply than people twice their age ever did. And sometimes the person who changes your life doesn't arrive when you are searching. They arrive when you are tired of searching. They come quietly. They don't force their way into your heart. They simply remain there. Until one day you realize that their presence has started to mean more than you ever admitted. Maybe there is someone around you right now who makes you feel something you cannot easily explain. You may not even know why you notice them. You may not understand why their name stays in your mind. You may not understand why a simple conversation with them can remain in your thoughts for hours. Perhaps you have tried to convince yourself that it means nothing. You tell yourself, "They're just being kind. It's probably just coincidence. I'm imagining things." But your heart keeps returning to the same person. And sometimes your heart notices what your mind is still afraid to accept. Maybe this younger person came into your life at a strange time. Not when everything was perfect, not when you were completely ready, but when you were healing, when you were learning how to stand on your own again, when you had stopped expecting someone to save you. And that may be exactly why their presence feels different. Because they didn't arrive when you needed someone to complete you. They arrived when you were slowly becoming whole again, and perhaps they saw something in you that you had forgotten was still there. Your softness, your kindness, your ability to love, your ability to care even after being hurt. They may have noticed the things you thought nobody noticed, the way you become quiet when something hurts, the way you smile even when your heart is heavy, the way you help people without asking for anything in return, the way you pretend you are stronger than you actually feel. And maybe they saw all of this, and instead of walking away, they wanted to stay. That is what makes some connections so powerful. It isn't always about age. It isn't always about appearance. It isn't about what other people think should make two people compatible. Sometimes it is about how safe two souls feel around each other, how naturally they understand one another, how silence doesn't feel uncomfortable, how one look can say what words cannot. And perhaps this younger person has already felt something like that with you. Maybe they don't know how to express it. Maybe they are afraid you would never see them that way. Maybe they believe you deserve someone older, more experienced, or more established. So they keep their feelings hidden. They watch, they wait, they find reasons to talk to you. They remember little things you said. They notice when your mood changes. They may even act like they don't care, while secretly caring more than they want you to know. And there is something heartbreaking about loving someone quietly. Because when you love someone silently, you experience everything alone. You celebrate their happiness from a distance. You worry about them without telling them. You miss them without admitting it. You want to say so much, but fear convinces you to say nothing. Maybe that is what has been happening between you and this person. Two hearts standing close to each other, while both are afraid to take the first step. Maybe they are wondering if you could ever love them. And maybe you are wondering if they could ever truly understand you. But what if the answer is already hidden in the way you feel when they are near? Think about the person whose presence changes your mood without them even trying. The person whose message makes your heart feel lighter. The person whose absence you notice. The person whose name somehow stays with you long after the conversation ends. Sometimes you don't recognize love because it doesn't arrive loudly. It arrives in small moments, a look, a smile, a remembered detail, a quiet act of care, a conversation that lasts longer than it needed to, a person checking whether you are okay. Even when you never told them something was wrong, these little things can become the beginning of something much bigger. And perhaps you have already experienced some of them. Maybe that is why this message found you at this exact moment. Not because everything has already been decided. Not because you should blindly believe that one specific person is guaranteed to marry you, but because sometimes our hearts need permission to consider a possibility we have been too afraid to explore. Maybe love can come from somewhere unexpected. Maybe the person you thought was too young could possess a maturity your heart has been longing for. Maybe the person you never considered could become the person you cannot imagine living without. And maybe their name is already closer than you think. Perhaps you have heard it many times. Perhaps you have spoken their name without realizing how meaningful it could become. Perhaps they are already part of your daily life, or perhaps they are someone you recently met. Someone who entered your world so quietly that you never realized they were leaving a mark. And maybe, one day, you will look back and understand why you met them when you did. Because some people arrive to teach us, some arrive to heal us, some arrive to challenge us, and some arrive and simply stay. They become the person you call when life becomes difficult. The person whose hand you search for when you are afraid. The person who knows your silence. The person who knows your past but doesn't use it against you. The person who sees your flaws and still chooses kindness. The person who knows the parts of you that you hide from everyone else and still says, "I'm here." Imagine waking up one day beside someone who once seemed like an impossible chapter in your story. Someone younger, someone you never expected, someone whose love grew slowly enough that you didn't even notice when friendship became attachment, and attachment became something deeper. Maybe the relationship doesn't begin with fireworks. Maybe it begins with comfort, with trust, with two people talking for hours without realizing how late it has become. With laughter after difficult days, with a feeling that says, I can be myself around you. That feeling is rare. And when you find it, you should not ignore it simply because it arrived differently than you expected. Because the heart doesn't always follow the plans we make for it. You may have imagined a certain kind of person, a certain age, a certain personality, a certain story. But life has a way of surprising us. Sometimes the person we prayed for does not look like the person we pictured. Sometimes the answer arrives in a form we almost reject because it doesn't match our expectations. And later, we realize that what we wanted and what we needed were two completely different things. Maybe you wanted someone who looked perfect, but you needed someone who stayed. Maybe you wanted someone impressive, but you needed someone gentle. Maybe you wanted someone who knew everything about love, but you needed someone willing to learn your heart. And maybe this younger person has exactly that kind of heart. A heart that doesn't promise perfection, but promises effort. A heart that doesn't say it will never make mistakes, but says it will never stop trying. A heart that understands that love isn't only about beautiful moments. Love is also about staying when things become difficult. It is about choosing each other after misunderstandings. It is about patience. It is about forgiveness. It is about holding someone's hand when life becomes heavy. And maybe this person is capable of giving you that. Maybe they have watched you from a distance and admired the strength you developed through pain. Maybe they know you have been hurt. Maybe they know you don't trust easily anymore. And perhaps that is why they are moving slowly. They don't want to force you. They want you to feel safe. They want you to know that their feelings are not based on a temporary attraction. They want to prove themselves through actions, because real love eventually becomes visible, not through dramatic words, but through consistency. Through presence, through patience, through the decision to remain when there is nothing exciting happening. Anyone can love you during your happiest days, but the person who stays when you are tired, confused, emotional, or afraid, that person is showing you something different. And perhaps the younger person in your life is quietly showing you exactly that. Maybe they have stayed longer than you expected. Maybe they keep coming back after every distance. Maybe they continue to care even when you become distant. Maybe they remember the smallest details. Maybe they notice when you are not yourself. Maybe they want to protect your peace rather than disturb it. And maybe, without realizing it, you have started doing the same for them. That is when you should pause. Because sometimes love begins when two people stop asking, "Do they love me?" and start asking, "How can I make them feel safe? How can I support them? How can I make their difficult days a little easier? How can I protect their heart instead of testing it?" That is the kind of love that can survive time. And perhaps this is why their age matters less than their heart, because maturity is not always measured in years. It is measured in how someone treats you when they have nothing to gain. It is measured in how they behave when they are angry. It is measured in whether they respect your boundaries. It is measured in whether they can communicate instead of disappearing. It is measured in whether they can take responsibility when they are wrong. And if this younger person has shown you those qualities, then maybe you should stop judging the connection only by the number of years between you. Look at the heart. Look at the character. Look at the way they treat you. Look at the peace you feel around them. Because sometimes the deepest love comes from the person you least expected. And maybe one day, when you hear their name again, something inside you will feel different. Not because the name itself is magical, but because you will remember everything attached to it. The conversations, the smiles, the moments you almost confessed something but stayed quiet. The times they made you feel understood. the days they stayed when others disappeared. And perhaps you will finally realize their name was never far away. It was already somewhere inside your story. Maybe the person you are waiting for is not someone you have to chase. Maybe they are someone you simply need to recognize. Someone whose presence already feels familiar. Someone whose heart already feels strangely close. And if that person is younger than you, do not automatically assume that the connection cannot be real. But also, do not force destiny where there is no genuine love. Let actions speak. Let time reveal intentions. Let respect guide you. Because real love does not need to be rushed. If it is genuine, it will become clearer with time. And if this person is truly meant to walk beside you, you will not have to destroy your peace trying to make it happen. A moment when two people finally stop hiding what they feel. A moment when the fear becomes smaller than the love. A moment when someone finally says, "I have been trying to tell you for so long." And perhaps those words will come from the person you never expected, the younger one, the quiet one, the one whose name has been closer than you realized. So if there is someone in your life who keeps appearing in your thoughts, don't immediately dismiss that feeling. Pay attention, not to fantasies, not to assumptions, but to reality. Look at their actions. Look at their consistency. Look at the way they make you feel. And most importantly, look at whether the connection brings peace, respect, honesty, and genuine care. Because the love that is worth keeping will never ask you to lose yourself. It will help you become more yourself. And maybe that is what this younger soul came into your life to do. Not to rescue you, not to complete you, but to remind you that your heart is still capable of feeling something beautiful. After everything you have survived, after every goodbye, after every person who made you question your worth, maybe love is not finished with you. Maybe there is still a chapter waiting to be written. And perhaps the most beautiful part of that chapter is this. You may not have to travel far to find the person you are looking for. You may not have to search through hundreds of faces. You may not have to wait for someone mysterious to appear, because sometimes the person meant to become part of your future is already somewhere near you. Their name may already be familiar. Their voice may already be known. Their smile may already be something your heart remembers. And one day, when everything becomes clear, you may realize that what felt like coincidence was simply two lives slowly moving toward the same moment. So don't be afraid of unexpected love. Don't reject something beautiful simply because it arrived differently than you imagined. Give people the chance to show you who they truly are. Let time reveal what words cannot. And if a younger person is quietly showing you love, patience, respect, and genuine intention, maybe the question is not, why are they younger? Maybe the question is, why does my heart feel so safe with them? Because sometimes age tells you how long someone has lived, but character tells you how deeply they have learned. And love, real love, is not measured by years. It is measured by the way two hearts choose each other, again and again and again, until one day, what once seemed impossible becomes the most natural thing in the world. And perhaps that is where your story is heading, toward someone younger, toward a name that may already be closer than you think, toward a love you never planned for, but may one day thank life for bringing to you. And if that person is already somewhere around you, maybe your heart has recognized them before your mind ever did.